Welcome to part 3 of the video titled Year 2026 United States versus China. So by 2026, Chinese GDP, which is gross domestic product, would be near about 20 trillion US dollars. If we compare this with India, then it would be 5 times of the Indian GDP. Because by 2026, Indian GDP would be near about, I would say, near about 4 trillion US dollars. Assuming as we speak, Indian GDP is 3 trillion US dollars, which the government proclaims, but the ground reality is far different. Anyways, United States is facing lot of issues. Number one issue is their debt. Now, let me have the figures. This magazine, page number 12. Now, this magazine is saying in 2014, the top 4 central banks, which includes Federal Reserve, Bank of Japan, European Central Bank, and Bank of England. I repeat, Federal Reserve, Bank of Japan, European Central Bank, and Bank of England. In 2014, their combined balance sheet is 10.4 trillion. Now, anyone in this whole world would trust on this data. Even I trust on this data, apparently speaking. I repeat, apparently speaking. But there is a big mismatch in this data. And what the hell is mismatch? Where is People Bank of China? China is the second largest economy of the globe. We cannot run away from this fact. Can we run away that China is not the second largest economy of the globe? We cannot run away. So why in this magazine, page number and 12, it hasn't mentioned? But if you look at this magazine, Fortune. So for a normal investor who do not have an understanding of the economic background, who do not know how to challenge the status quo, this is a fact. Anyways, by 2000, as of 2014, the balance sheet of the top 4, which includes Federal Reserve, Bank of Japan, European Central Bank, and Bank of England, is near about 10.4 trillion US dollars. By 2021, which means 7 years after that, it is 24.5 trillion US dollars. 24.5 trillion US dollars. Which means in the 7 years, the balance sheet of so-called top 4 central banks increased by at least 2 times. Because it was 10.4 trillion, now it is 24.5 trillion. You can say near about 2 times in the 7 years. But if I add People Bank of China, which this magazine, Fortune India, failed to mention, it is 6 trillion, which means only 5 central banks, which includes Federal Reserve, Bank of Japan, European Central Bank, Bank of England, and People Bank of China. The combined balance sheet is near about 30 trillion. Rather, it is more than 30 trillion. More than 30 trillion. Now let's come to the heaviness, which is the more important thing. Federal Reserve itself is standing at 8.5 trillion of balance sheet. 8.5 trillion of balance sheet. So out of 30, 8.5 trillion, which means near about 26%. Near about 26% of the combined balance sheet of the top 5 central banks is United States. But did anyone, whether it is Bloomberg, CNN, BBC, probably another business channels, did they told you about this? No, they haven't. And this balance sheet is growing. Now, United States is standing at a sovereign debt of near about 31 trillion US dollars. 31, which by the way is growing. As we speak, Joe Biden, American president, is looking to have an additional debt of 2.5 trillion. Now, what is happening in United States is very clear, which is one president increase the debt and just believe that let his term pass. Let the next president take care of that. Why do I bother? As simple as that. So this philosophy is going as far as the federal balance sheet and United States is concerned. So Donald Trump is also not an exception. Donald Trump did that. Before Donald Trump, Barack Obama did that. George Bush did that. And now Joe Biden is doing that. So a balance sheet which is of 31 trillion. Am I correct? And projected debt additional, it is near about 2.5 trillion, which means see the growth rate which is going on. See the growth rate. Which means United States is accumulating a huge quantity of debt in their books, which needs to be repaid. I repeat, which needs to be repaid. But unfortunately, this magazine completely missed that part. Because what we assumed? We assumed United States is a AAA rated central, country and would continue to be a AAA rated country. By the way, how authentic is this AAA rating? We all are aware. So this is the first lapse which I would be talking as far as this magazine is concerned. See you in the part 4 of the video. This is Rahul Magan from Treasury Consulting Group.